All right. Hopefully, all's well. Do I sound normal to you? All right. I can only apologize. I have no idea what has gone wrong. Today has just been one of those days. It's been one issue after another, and I do apologize. I'm not sure what the source of it is. All I did was toggle one thing inside Dota, and everything went berserk, apparently. And if you've tuned into the rest of our broadcast, we had very few issues. Today, though, has just been one of those days. So the viewers who are tuning in from all over the world, and to the players, I apologize sincerely from the bottom of my heart. And hopefully we can work something out. I'm ready to go whenever the players are, if you want to have them resume, Draskell. Yeah, now they want to say. Again, I am so sorry. Again, I don't know what the issue was, but either way, it's my responsibility to ensure a smooth stream, and I'm rather bothered by the fact that it hasn't been so, especially for a match of this magnitude between two teams that are this good, who are up this late, who have worked this hard to get to where they are. So, hopefully, though, all should be well on all sides. Should be coming through the Dota 2 client as well. Don't want to screw our good friends that have bought the tickets so generously and are trying to watch in-game. I wanted to make sure that was sorted out as well. And just one of those days, man. Just one of those days. Hopefully, our viewers will forgive us. I'm sure you were dropping knowledge bombs as always. If you're just tuning in, hopefully you didn't catch all of the screw-ups, and now I could just say, hey, it's a pause, and Zenith asked us to pause. But 56 to 56, the two last hit leaders in Morphling and in Naga Siren, so it's a very close game. I'll go ahead and pop up goal graph as well. It's right around 500 differential between the two squads. Can you hear me? Yay. So, yeah. Again, I apologize so very much, folks, and I think we are in good shape. We are ready to roll. As soon as Zenith gives the okay, I'm ready. As soon as everyone else is. Thank you for the viewers who have tolerated these issues. Again, I can't apologize enough. Draskell and I have been looking forward to this match all day long. Not all day long, all month long. Leading all the way up to this. From beginning to end, we've been looking forward to it. And I hate that it's come to this. Still with us, Draskell?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, you just got quiet. Wouldn't be surprised if you cut out now. But,
today, I mean, yeah, anything can happen at this point. But on the bright side, there's already been so many things that have gone wrong that you can't really get any worse, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, you've had both teams disconnect, like their entire team, not even just one person disconnects and gets picked off. It was their whole team. And then the other whole team. So Zenith says they're ready to go. Just waiting on LGD. But yeah, hopefully we don't have any other problems. And I hope that that guy in chat is kidding when they say that they can't hear me, because I will be the saddest person.
We'll give it a minute or two. We'll hope. Hope. It sounds so typical, too, doesn't it? Anyway, thank you again, ladies and gentlemen, for your patience. And we hope that we can focus on nothing but Dota from this point forward. Everybody did get to hear my Alvin and the Chipmunks routine, though, huh? That's something that happens when my sound card decides it wants to fight with my very expensive, very high-powered condenser mic and Skype, and every now and then it turns me into Alvin, which I don't even know how that's possible. How is it possible that a microphone can make me sound like that? And it's not even like it's pitch shifted. It's like it's perfectly done, as if I were trying to do so in a studio. And it's happened before. It just hasn't happened in a long, long time. And, of course, it would happen today of all days. So, Zenith is ready. We're ready. Looks like we're just waiting on LGD. Makes me feel a little bit better knowing that the teams had stuff they had to handle on their side as well. But yeah, as you mentioned, it's just been one of those days, man. We've had multiple disconnects, whole teams disappearing at a time. Our first best of 3 today was the result of IG having a power cut occur the day before. And we hope we can get back underway in the very near future. This is our second game of this best of 5 grand finals for itsgosu's monthly madness. And we are very happy to have each and every viewer, no matter where you're from, be you from Asia, be you from Europe, be you from North America. And I'm very happy to have you too, Draskell. Again, you started your day at, what, 4 in the morning? Something like that?
Yeah, 3 or so. People are saying they can't hear me, by the way. So the problems keep on coming. I'm not sure. I didn't change anything on my end. So.
Yeah, I think you're going to be okay. I went through and double-checked as soon as you said that, by the way. I think you're fine. I think it's just... I think I had to untoggle one thing, and I think you're going to be okay. And keep in mind, we are on a delay, so people should be able to hear you. very, very shortly. And you are registering as your audio going through XSplit, so I don't think it's going to be a problem. But anyway, I see our viewers are right around 4,300, despite the issues. It is a considerable drop. Don't blame them. It's easy to get impatient. I know I would. But at the same time, the 4,300 or so that are sticking with us, you guys are bosses. Bosses among bosses. And we are very happy to have you here. Hopefully everyone else who got upset or bored or what, maybe just went to bed because it is very late in many parts of Asia. They can catch the VODs, right? All right. 3, 2, 1, and go. Back to freaking Dota. AA ulti. Crossing the map. Let's see if it can connect with anything. Not really. Huge bubble, but well off the mark. 4-5. Zenith continues to lead. And again, this is an extremely close and extremely tense early game. This is the kind of early game where a little bit of movement or 1 or 2 decisions can win or lose a lane just about anywhere.
Yeah, it's going to be down to execution, especially for the mid game. Since the early game has been so close, I still am favoring LGD a bit here. I mean, they even have AA to counter the Morphling, so you can't do Morph stance through it anymore. It's just another thing that they have to worry about. And so far, it seems like both teams are kind of content to sit back and farm. I still feel like this kind of style favors LGD. The CK, he has 33 CS at 10, which isn't necessarily great, but he's doing okay, especially when you dual lane mid. I mean, this is what I always used to talk about with a couple of the other competitive teams, since I have a couple of friends on them, is when you dual lane an Invoker, your support isn't really going to help you that much, especially if you're doing a ranged and a melee, because the melee obviously can't do too much to add pressure by himself, as we see Lena picking off a kill on the river right there. XY just caught out in the wrong part of the woods by 3 heroes of LGD, and overall, like, dual laning against an Invoker is almost like the Broodmother situation that we always see. It's like you have to commit a lot to just making sure he doesn't get farmed, and it's not even like DDC got too much out of it. I mean, his CS is actually below where it should be.
Absolutely. And by the way, just want to point out how prescient your statement earlier was about how important it is and why Shaker is not always valued as highly team to team. He has no escape mechanism, and what we just saw can happen. He can just be caught out and in the wrong part of town, whereas a a Sand King could have very easily just burrow striked out, or even could have just gone into a sandstorm to buy time for his buddies to come help him out. As is, though, we're back to even, 5-5. Very close in gold, very close in experience, and this is going to be a hell of a game too, no doubt about it.
I'm looking forward to see how the team fights work out, because I don't know if Darkseer, Disruptor, Earthshaker is going to trump having a Naga Siren, a CK, and the possible burst damage output that we're going to see right here, because no matter what hero you are on Zenith, whether it be Morphling or Darkseer, the two tankiest of heroes for sure, if you get caught by that combination, you're just a goner. There is no way that you're going to be able to get away from that kind of burst damage coming out. And we're going to see actually a 3-second stun on the low to bottom, but don't think he's going to kill him.
Yep, TP reaction. DD might be in some trouble. Beautiful Sunstrike. Literally hit the bullseye. Could not have aimed it any better. And Ice, who we have seen just utterly dominate a game as Invoker, showing that he's got the chops. He's going to be ensnared now, though, taking a lot of damage. There's the follow-up stun, Laguna Blade, plus a little bit of extra attack damage, enough to bring him down, so they trade 1 for 1 there. In the meantime, Zenith comes out swinging. Loda and HY looking to attack this tower. CK just runs back to base, knows there's nothing he can do at this point. If he comes anywhere near it, he's just going to be dove. And yeah, this is what Zenith wants right now. They want to. What they're doing is not only keeping CK away from safely farming. Oh wow, Naga Siren blows the ulti. Here comes the TP reactions. 1 in already, and yeah, there goes Zenith. Mass disconnects again.
Dear.
I hate to see that happen, but it makes me feel a little better. I'm not gonna lie. It makes me feel like I'm not the only person on the planet having issues today. Do apologize to the viewers, though. Again, obviously these things are largely out of our hands, and we hate that this is happening as much as you guys do. We hopefully can get everyone back in and in good position to continue on with our game, but that's a whole team disconnect. That's the kind of thing that scares me. Last time that happened, it's one thing to have a few players drop, because, you know, usually you see 2 or 3 drop if there's an issue. When all go at once, literally at the same time, they register at the exact same moment, that tends to be something on the side, like as in a power outage, like we saw with IG. So much apologies, and Monthly Madness, man, it went so smooth until today. Did you notice that? We had almost no issues. Yeah. Most teams were on time. The latest we started a match was like 5 minutes most of the time. Disconnects weren't a problem. Really no issues on our side audio-wise past the first day when we had to sort out Dota TV. But I guess this is what we get, man. We had it too good for too long, and now of all days, today's the day everything falls apart for everybody.
Well, if you don't believe in karma, or you didn't before, then I guess this is kind of what it is now. Maybe not karma is the right word, but our luck has run out. As today we've just had a whole slew of problems, and this is kind of scary now because typically we've actually had 3 total entire team disconnects today.
Yeah.
Once it was LGD, twice now for Zenith, but the first time Zenith came back like within a minute.
Yeah.
Now they're not back, and I'm kind of going, oh.
Yeah, that's what scares me. That's and again, did LGD drop entirely? I thought last time they dropped like 3 or 4.
Yeah, it was their whole team.
Oh, okay.
Today it's been 3 times.
Yeah. For whatever reason, I had in my head it was most of their team, but 1 or 2. I guess maybe 1 came back super quick or something like that, and it confused me. But yeah, this is reminiscent of what happened with IG. They dropped, and it took us about 5-10 minutes to get confirmed reports, but it turned out that they had just the power in their LAN center went out, just flat out gone. But that's not the case now, as all of Zenith reconnects. So yay! 12-minute game that's probably taken 30 minutes to get to this point. Our players bossing through it as best as they can. I'm not sure what time it is in China and Singapore right now, but I know it's quite late. It's got to be past midnight at the very least.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's in the early hours of the morning, actually.
Love their hearts. Oh, good. Oh, good. Oh, man.
Well, I mean, these are the days where you kind of just have to roll with the punches, you know?
Yeah,
I mean, there's only so much we can do. I mean, you especially, since you're running the stream, you did most of the work. I kind of just sat here trying to calm the masses in the chat. I'm like, okay, guys, we're going to have a game. I promise we won't start without you.
Yep.
I'm just sitting here like, you ever seen the movie Pitch Black? It's just like, it looks clear. I mean, that's pretty much what I'm saying to myself the entire time. We're good, man. It's going to be fine. Don't worry.
Game over, man. Game over. But,
oh, boy.
Yeah, it's, I'll just, we got a moment. I'll walk you through what happened on my side. Everyone said the stream went black, but then about half the people that I have on Skype that are monitoring the stream said, no, it's fine. So the only option I had was to reconnect the stream, which I did, and that was the beginning of all the issues, because once I reconnected the stream, it would recognize the server, it would begin to send frames, and it would go for a bit, and people would be like, oh, okay, I think it's showing live, that's fine. Then it would crash, just randomly crash. So I literally started from scratch, and during the downtime, I remade, well, it's not like I drew them by hand, but I had to reassemble the overlays and such, and just redid everything from the beginning to get XSplit to work, and in the meantime, apparently something I did screwed up virtual audio cable, which caused the in-game audio to mess itself, and I went to fix that during the previous disconnect, and that caused even more issues. So we got everything sorted out, though, and it's one of those things. I can't, as much as we love the stream viewers, and we're so happy to have you guys here, there are some people who paid good money to be able to watch this game inside the client, and there's no way we can just say, oh, sorry guys, you're just screwed this game. It had to be done, it had to be fixed, and sorry on behalf of the teams and on behalf of us for the delays. Zenith still missing 1, still missing Ice. Hopefully he'll be able to make it back in. Here he is. Now let's see if they can stay connected for more than 10-15 seconds this time around.
I'm hoping so, man. I mean, I don't think we want to have to postpone, especially in the middle of a best of. That's like the last possible thing you want to do. You don't want to play like 3 out of the 5 and then have to come back another day to play the other ones, especially considering how late it already is for these teams. I mean, some people could argue that it might be better off to just do it when the time isn't so late, but I don't know. This has just been one of those days, man.
It is. And to tell you the truth, as I understand it, that was actually an option that was being discussed in the background during the last couple of disconnects. I don't even know that we could do that. As I understand it, Zenith is going to be either boot camping or busy pretty much all of next week. So this, one way or the other, hell or high water, we're likely to get these games played. Just want to show much love and respect to the teams who are bowling through it and certainly playing outside of their comfort zone right now. Ice, back in the game, soon to take his... Oh, wow, actually manages to get off the Ghost Walk. Oh, the Blind Dragon Slave gets the kill. That's a killing spree. On the bottom side, Morphling able to pick off the tower. And we saw some TP reaction there. DD came after Naga Siren popped the ulti. Just not enough help there, really, to get much of anything done. Loda back at top lane now, facing off. And now there's going to be a good fissure that's going to catch DD, taking a little extra damage courtesy of Disruptor as well. All in all, though, supports versus supports until Naga Siren showed up. They decided they wanted no part of it. 7-6, favoring LGD. And I'm sure the gold graph going to reflect, it's about 1,000 gold differential, give or take, but still very, very close.
I think it's going to continue to be close until we see 1 or 2 big engagements. That's going to be the difference maker. Again, it's pretty much all down to execution. That's what happens when you have a relatively even draft. I mean, Disruptor has been known to be a pretty good counter to Naga Siren. Not something that we see too much of, at least in the European and North American scene, but for sure when you have Asian teams, they definitely love playing this hero. Even not against Naga Siren, just in general. He's just a very, very strong hero that I believe is a little bit underused. He's not so much for his damage in this particular game as he is for what he brings to the team fight in terms of positioning and stuff. As we're going to see a 4-second stun on Morphling right here. He might be in some trouble.
Yep, the follow-up, and now Disruptor there, however. Laguna getting Blade is burned. He is finally going to drop. DDC taking a lot of damage, picked off on the backside of the battle. Disruptor a bit out of position. No mana for Yao to pursue, however. Earthshaker pulling back as well. 1-for-1 trade. Morphling for CK. Carry for carry. Again, stays pretty damn close.
Well, that engagement was kind of strange. Like, typically when you're playing against an AA and you eat a 4-second stun, the first thing that I would think is to move because there's probably an AA ult coming within that general area. So
yep.
When he started morphing, I mean, that was the right call to make, but he didn't move far enough forward. He even had a haste rune in his bottle. He could have hasted, walk forward, or even wave forward, and pretty much avoided the nuke damage from that. So a little bit of a strange play. He got clipped by the power shot as well, so he took way too much damage. I don't know, man. Just kind of a strange thing. They managed to pick off the CK, so that's good, but Morphling needs farm just like CK, and in all honesty, I think CK is more effective with less items, so
yep.
In that particular sense, I think that LGD is going to be pretty okay with that trade.
Absolutely. Right now, again, just the volatility of the lanes and the way this is working out. I mean, we've seen one ability just lead to these massive fights following TP reactions. This is kind of going to be the key to the early game and the way it's going to continue to play out for the next few moments. Something we're seeing out of CK now, and this is risk-reward. Again, it comes down to what you can get done out of it. We've seen this before, and we've seen it work out good and work out bad. When you take CK away from farm and you just start roaming him around looking for kills, if he can rack up a couple and get some towers because of them, it works out well. But in this case, for example, he's moving around. He's going to spot Morphling, still not going to have any access to him. He's moving and just wasting time. This is time when he could be farming, and this is the real risk you take when you opt for this kind of a strategy at this stage of the game. He's just going to continue falling further and further behind. He was up near the top. Now he's at 47. The last hits at 16 minutes compared to 96 on Loda, who is just tearing it up, as our Darkseer 95 and 89 for Naga Siren and Morphling respectively. Loda there with Disruptor able to force Windrunner back once again. Zenith with Shaker hanging out near mid. Let's see if they're going to be able to catch anyone out. Doesn't look to be the case, but yeah, I mean, this is very tight Dota. All DD is going to be caught out. There's the Sunstrike and the Rock. That's a super dead Ancient Apparition courtesy of Ice Ice Ice.
They should have been able to pick off that Windrunner top. The glimpse was a little bit mistimed right there, and wow, they're actually going to try to go on Darkseer here.
Yep, Disruptor's there as well, however. Buying Lotus some time. There's a good vacuum, and down she goes. Morphling's there as well. That's a big swing, and that's the kind of risk you take when you're LGD. You're roaming CK around. Not only do you have to really kind of press to make sure you get something out of it, but if you press and miss, you end up dead and off the map even longer. 23 seconds on him. That's time he's not CSing, time he's not taking map control. And there's potential for Zenith to take 2 towers here, depending on how aggressive they want to play. Loda's pretty low on health. He already spent the wall as well. Dragon Slave going to add to that. They're going to do a little bit of damage, but it looks like they are going to turn away. But yeah, again, CK, he needs his farm. And we've seen he can get it late. He doesn't have to be this amazing 400 CS, 800 gold per minute hero. AA ulti is not going to connect with anyone. But, you know, you're really giving up a big advantage in the mid game if you're going to roam around like this. And we've got them smoked up again. So LGD definitely feels like this is the way to go. Just going to continue to press this strategy as best they can.
I mean, CK is great without items because of the fact that he has the crit multiplier, but he needs something soon.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like he can live on just a drum forever. I mean, he picked up the bracers, so that's what he's going to be going for. He needs a BKB, though, for sure. We just saw what happened when he tried to engage in the Darkseer right there. Iron Shell still does a lot of damage as Freedom might be dropping here as well.
Yep, 3-second Chaos Bolt, Dragon Slave from the low ground as well. And wow, HY is going to get caught out. There you go, LGD. That's what they've been trying to pull off most of the time, and now they're going to take a tower for their trouble.
That was a really nice turnaround, being able to pick him off like that. They need to be careful, though, not to get caught out of position. Ooh, Naga's going to TP out. They might choose to engage on this.
And, yeah, we're going to have the vacuum in. Loda trying to force the fight. There's the waveform. It's not going to connect with anyone. Fisher is going to catch DDC, however. Light Strike Array catches Loda. They did want to engage, but LGD able to fall back with relatively little damage. 10-9, the current kill score. Coming up on 20 minutes now. Gold graph tells us still pretty damn close. Between 3,000, 4,000 gold separating these two teams. Less than 1,000 experience, so it's only going to get better and better and better. But again, you really hit the nail on the head, and we saw it. We've already seen it in terms of what a CK missing at least one core item. Other, drums is great, like you said, but you can't live on him forever. He's going to need a BKB, something like that. And right now, pretty much nowhere near it.
Yeah, without a BKB, he's going to really struggle in team fights later on. Even though he does have Phantasm, and you got Darkseer to counter that. Waveform is an AoE, Disruptor has an AoE ultimate, not to mention a Zoox AoE if you stand by it, and an Earthshaker. Like, those illusions aren't going to be very durable in itself, so he needs magic immunity to ensure that he can get a Reality Rift off, get his Phantasms in as fast as possible to be able to get damage off before they go down, and just to save him. Like basically, he can't really stick on somebody if he doesn't have a BKB in this game. He's going to take too much damage. There's other abilities that can stop him from having any kind of momentum. As we're going to see an A ultimate kind of scout out Roche here, but no one's doing it, so no harm, no foul, I guess. But right now, Zenith is feeling pretty confident. They're a little bit ahead in gold, not really too far, but LGD leads in experience, and this is still pretty much anyone's game. There hasn't been really a big enough engagement to where I could say, okay, somebody's gotten a sizable lead from that.
Yeah, very much agree. Good shackle shot there. Going to lock down Ice and XY. Yeah, they're going to try and get the Cold Feet to proc. And Sunstrike's going to land. That's a very dead Windrunner. Ice stuck through it. Managed to get the job done. Well executed there from Zenith. And
yeah, again, Disruptor just proving to be really, really good.
Yeah,
I mean,
good hero.
What other hero could have stopped a Windrunner from getting away in that position?
Yeah, exactly. And he's a hero that I think we may end up seeing played a little bit more than now. I mean, obviously, he works extremely well to try to counter Naga Siren. That's that. I mean, that's how that works. But I think he may end up seeing a little bit more play as we approach the International. He is just such a flexible hero that can add so much to your lanes and even to team fights at all stages of the game. It's not like, I mean, as you pointed out in our first game, he does kind of need a few levels. Like, he's not the sort of support that can be level 4 all game or even level 5, level 6 all game and be okay. He has to get a few levels up early. If he can accomplish that, though, and get himself into a decent position in the mid-game, he just continues to scale throughout the game and always contributes something to team fights, always contributes to tower defense, always contributes to offensive ganks. No matter what, he can give you something that you're going to want, and that's even aside from what he obviously brings in terms of trying to shut down heroes and combinations such as Lina and Naga Siren.
Any initiation that they can have with him is going to be paramount, because having that AoE silence, especially against the team that LGD has, they're a very casting-centric team. They need to be able to use all their abilities in quick succession, and Disruptor, like his name implies, pretty much disrupts that. So, I mean, in a sense, I think that Zenith has pretty solid picking in the later stages of the game. It's an interesting synergy, too, because of the kinetic field and the static storm with the vacuum. Plus the Earthshaker as well. I mean, that's another thing you have to keep in mind. The Earthshaker is actually going to have a blink probably within the next 5 to 10 minutes, I would say. And that's not really the fastest in the world, but considering the situation he started in, it's pretty decent. And once that happens, the Wombo combo is going to be strong. Like, really strong from Zenith.
Absolutely agreed. 10-10, though, for the current moment. Just such a close game. Gold differential even beginning to narrow out a little bit. Zenith does continue to control that. Experience slightly in favor of LGD. First big team fight is going to tell us a lot. And if it swings way too violently one way or the other, it could end up having a major effect on the way the mid-game plays. I just want to point out how crazy ahead Loda is. He's already got a Pipe Up, Soul Ring, Tranquil Boots, and his Stout Shield. I mean, he is just farmed beyond any expectation for a Darkseer, especially one bouncing in and out of the jungle and in and out of the long lane. And, you know, that just goes to show you how strong it is to play Darkseer the way he's played him. Instead of just going, well, it's my job to sit in long lane and just be abused. That's my job to cast Ion Shells and annoy the carry that's going to farm. He's actually staying right with her. 152 to 156 and Morphling. right behind as well at 132. So Naga Siren has done an exceptional job, but not out of reach by any stretch, and opting to go for Heart of Tarasque, right, or Tarasque, however it's pronounced, right out the gate. This time, Siler definitely wants to see a Naga Siren with a lot more survivability early in the game.
I think this is the perfect item build for the Naga. I mean, they're going to be going for him to make sure that he can't get his ultimate off anyway, so why not punish that by being one of the most durable heroes on the team, if not in the game? So rushing the straight heart, that means that he's going to be a very hard target to take down, and depending on how much Zenith commits to killing him, it could almost be just as bad as the Naga Siren ult in itself, because you use all your abilities, and you've basically killed Naga, and then you have an entire team of LGD which has everything up. They're going to have multiple heroes at high percentages of HP, because while you do have some AoE, you can't always expect to catch like 4 or 5 heroes.
Right.
So it's just going to be a matter of, can they kill her fast enough, or are they going to avoid her now that she has the heart, and maybe she doesn't do enough damage to be a threat. Maybe they're just going to try to pick other people off now, which is also another viable option. But the ultimate from her is pretty much never going to be stopped now.
Yeah.
That's the one important thing for LGD.
Taking a look at HYHY, he's not horrendously far away from his Ethereal Blade. So, and I think that goes really, really well in terms of trying to deal with the Naga Siren, if they have spotted it, as I'm sure they have by now, that is going with that super heavy survivability build. You know, just going to rely on Morphling mainly to burst down heroes and to keep himself alive via morphing strength. We'll see what he decides to go after that, however. Everyone really on the map is farming pretty damn well. Loda, again, is just out of control for a Darkseer. CK, 1,400 gold in the bank, still lacking that one core item. No matter what he decided to build, most likely should be a BKB. But he does have his Ogre Club up now. Didn't know that was on the courier on the way to him, so he's inching closer. He's about, call it, 1,200 gold away.
It's going to be pretty important for him once he gets that. I think they might go for like some kind of a, what I would call a timing push, is once the BKB's finished, they have the heart and the Naga Siren. Try to make something happen, you know?
Yep.
The Morphling farming, he scales, his scaling is ridiculous. Like, Morphling is one of the hardest carries in the later stages of the game. Even if you do go for an Ethereal Blade, which isn't a quote-unquote carry item, but it boosts your damage output so much that it's a worthy item of getting, because you can pick people off very, very quickly. So he is still going to be going for that, so HYHY opting for the quote-unquote shotgun build. He actually just finished it. 26 minutes, and nope, somebody moved the courier, so he can't buy it yet, but he will be buying it here in a second.
Yep.
And I think it's a decision. I don't know if it's the best call to make, because there's 2 heroes on the team right now from LGD that he can't kill.
Yeah.
He's not going to go for CK, and he's not going to go for Naga. So he's probably going to go for AA or Lina in some cases, and I would probably go for Lina, considering Lina has Bound Eye, which means that they're going to be doing some pretty heavy counter warding. Want to make sure they can maintain as much map vision and control as they can, which is pretty standard. I mean, not really anything too crazy coming out from LGD, but they're just playing a very passive game at the moment. They feel pretty comfortable going into the late game, I would say. Again, Naga CK. I mean, that's really all you have to say in terms of the late game, and you're pretty much covered.
Oh, yeah.
So I think Zenith is still going to be the ones who have to apply pressure here.
Yep. Zenith is beginning to show a little bit more signs of life. They played very passively. Smoking up now. We've got HYHY hanging out in the woods, looking for some kind of commitment. They're gonna almost find it. There's a fissure. Oh wow! Just look at LGD melt. Oh, there's a good Echo Slam as well. Naga pops the ulti, but not before 2 heroes are dead. Windrunner and CK both down. Here comes the courier. He's unimpeded. He's unimpressed with Naga Siren's song. She's gonna go ahead and pop the mirror image, but down goes the wall. Siler's in some trouble, taking a lot of damage. He's gonna drop as well. That's 4 heroes down. And Zenith has cracked this game open. They're going to take 1 tower, and no doubt about it, push through to the tier 3. And yeah, this is a, if you want to call this a timing push, pretty solid. They're going to force the buyback from Naga Siren. That's a pretty big deal. She's already got the heart up, so she's got that going for her. But that's a decent amount of gold that's spent on just hoping that they can save this tower, and even that's going to be a little iffy. She's already spent her ulting. It's not high enough level to come off cooldown anytime in the near future. There's going to be an ensnare on Loda. Caught out. Riptide just really barely touches him. Able to make it back home quite easily. And I didn't even see where that was.
Oh, wow. Sunstrike.
I heard it. I didn't see where it was.
Yeah, it was right outside the well. His gem is actually sitting on the ground if you look at the well right now.
Yeah.
Warner, that's the remnants of what Lina used to be before the Sunstrike hit him. Ice, man. Just professional Sunstrikes this entire game so far. And I want to stress, too, right there, that last team fight, Siler, he died for no reason. Like, he got glimpsed back. He wasn't paying attention. He wasn't far enough out of range, and again, that's just not playing against Disruptor very often. People don't know what to do against it. They don't understand how the hero works quite yet because they just don't have the experience. So he got caught out in a position where he should have been perfectly fine otherwise, forced him to buy back, lost the tier 2 tower. That's a gigantic loss for LGD. Like, that's absolutely enormous.
Dire's top tower is
Zenith with a big swing going their way. Gold dipping back in their favor. Had narrowed itself down. Was close to 1,000 gold differential. Back down to 3,000. Likely to continue going that way. Dire loses the tower. They're going to be spotted by the AA ulti here. We'll see if they continue to bang on it. Naga Siren's ulti is off cooldown. He's all the way back at the well, however. TP reaction could come out quickly. Tier 1 tower standing in mid and bottom. Yeah, they're just, doesn't matter. Roche just died too quickly. Ice, ice, ice. Now, oh, good fissure. Oh, and a good vacuum gets him on the right side of the wall. Beautiful synergy of these heroes. Loda drops the wall, doesn't catch much of anything with it. But they do manage to pick off Lina in the meantime. Now they've got an Aegis that's been set on Morphling. In the meantime, HY taking some damage. But yeah, they can't count on their ability to kill him. They can't take the chance. DDC trying to TP out, gets vacuumed back down. And yeah, that's a misread there. That's really the only way to put that. But amazing play out of Zenith. I guess their disconnects gave them a chance to get a pot of coffee or something brewing, man. They're playing very sharp right now.
Well, to be totally honest, they're playing like they want to go to sleep soon. That's what they're playing like, because if they win this in the next game, then it's 3-0 and they win. So, I mean, sleep is a powerful motivator, man. Let's be honest. It's pretty important for humans to sleep, and you know, obviously I'm kidding. They're just playing very, very well, but I think that team fight especially, that just goes to show how badly you can get just completely caught off guard by things like vacuum. I mean, the CK got pulled from a ludicrously far distance right there. The fissure blocked the high ground, and the vacuum into low ground into the kinetic field as well. There was no way that Lena was making it out of there. It was actually kind of fortunate that LGD only lost Lena to that particular combination because she's one of the less valuable heroes to kill. But then CK kind of stuck around a little bit too long, and DDC ended up dropping as well, who, by the way, almost does have his BKB, but now he's 2 and 6. He actually almost accounts for half his team's deaths, which, as one of the quote-unquote semi-carries for his team, or hard carries, that's a score that you really can't have, and I think that at this point, his CS has fallen pretty far behind, only 100 at 31 minutes into the game. Comparative to the 150 plus of 3 heroes on Zenith. The only other person even close who's actually the leader is 223 on Naga, which is great, but I don't know, man. This game is going to be really tough from here on out for Zenith, I think.
It is. Or you mean for LGD?
Yeah, for LGD.
Yep, Zenith in pretty commanding position, but we've seen it before, man. We just saw it not long ago. Chaos Knight, if they can bide their time, he can help completely flip a game around. He just can. Just the way the hero works, his strength at all stages of the game. Once he gets up 1 or 2 core items. Right now, as you point out, still liking that BKB. At least I think he is, unless he completed it in the last few moments. He has, looks like he probably, it's being flown out to him right now. But in the meantime, Zenith feels like pressing their luck. They're getting a bang on this tier 2 mid tower. Loda's going to be hit with a shackle, doesn't lash. HY. Ethereal Blade and the Aegis as well. Going to be able to take some chances here if they really want to force an engagement. There's a fissure that only catches 1, however. Sylar with the ulti off of cooldown. Another good shackle. This time it does catch. And we're going to have the BKB popped. HY trying to morph strength. He can barely stay alive. Oh, wow. Still alive by some miracle. And Zenith now back on the counter charge. Sylar still hasn't blown the ulti. Still has it. Loda taking a lot of damage now after the ensnare. Freedom trying to do what he can to auto-attack the illusions. All in all, though, very well defended by LGD. They didn't overcommit. No kills on either side. But they do lose the tower as they do deny it.
I mean, losing the tower kind of sucks, but at the very least, it didn't give the bonus skill to Zenith, and I'm really surprised that they didn't commit to that more. Like, Zenith had HY being baited out pretty efficiently right there, and they should have just went for it, in all honesty. Like, even if they took out the Morphling, he would have revived. Like, I'm not really sure why they chose to play that so passively. They didn't end up losing anything, and they got a tower. But at the end of the day, it's like, what can you really expect when you walk down middle lane with basically 6 heroes and you don't lose anything? I mean, LGD didn't really come out ahead there at all, but it's kind of a sigh of relief that they didn't commit to the team fight, because honestly, Zenith would have just completely walked over them there. So a little bit interesting to play it that passively, but I mean, at the same time, they're still in a pretty good spot.
Yep.
So not too troubling.
Well, again, we've seen the success and the time that can be bought just defending the tier 3s. And Zenith is in the position, as you mentioned, the onus is on them to press here. Morphling, great late game carry, that's fine. Working towards Scotty now. So he's just going to get harder to deal with. Still has the Aegis up. Roche, still about 5 minutes left, give or take 5 or 6 minutes until he respawns. But it's on Zenith to press the issue now. CK he has the luxury of being able to sit back and just defend, as we've seen in previous games today, if he wants to. And he doesn't have to have the best farm. I mean, he's up to 111, he's got his BKB, and he's already going to be a little bit more dangerous. So Zenith is the one who really needs to try and get a racks down as quickly as they can. We're 35 minutes. This is the game timer says 35 minutes. This game's been going on what has to be close to an hour between the issues of ourselves and Zenith. Both teams very tired, but both teams playing at an extremely high level. We'll see if LGD wants to try and defend this tower. Doesn't look as though they do. Nah, just going to let it go. No outer tier towers remaining at all for LGD. 3 outer tier towers remaining. All 3 tier 2s still standing for Zenith. And we'll see how much they want to commit. I mean, they don't really have much else to do. They've got the Aegis up. They've got the team, their enemies pinned back. We are going to have TP reaction. I mean, unless they just want to wait on the Scotty. That's really the only other thing they can do. Try to defend towers from Naga Siren, of course. But by the time they get the Scotty up, it'll either be time to Roche again, or they'll have an Aegis to spend because Roche is about to come up.
I feel like they're going to be the ones who want to try to use their Aegis in this position because you're dire side, and the team you're playing against doesn't have any tier 1s. Heck, they're missing all their tier 2s now after the last tower just fell right there from LGD. So now, if they try to react, you're going to see them coming from basically miles away. You can see the offensive warding here by Zenith. They have one on the high ground right outside the base, and wow, okay, Lena,
she's not there anymore.
Through that
yeah, I don't know where she went. There was a hero there a minute ago. But that's what an Ethereal Blade does. And they're definitely looking to spin this Aegis. They want to use it or lose it. Ice 4-staffed in, gets the Hex off on DDC. And Glyph is popped. Let's see how much of a contention LGD is going to muster here. Everyone kind of staying spread out, trying to play this well. Ice. Caught with the ensnare. The pipe was popped a little prematurely, to be honest. It's already worn off. Pipe is up on Windrunner as well. Sylar uses Riptide to try and buy themselves a little time. Failed Reality Rift. Misses HY as he scoots out of range just in time. And yeah, they're just going to pull back and try to force a fight now after a little bit of bait. Let's see if they're going to have their way about it. Freedom, dancing around the outside, still has his dust up. HY, still holding the Aegis. LGD very wisely taking their time moving out. Knows this not all seems right now. They had to suspect. It's a little bit of a bait job going on. Zenith still kind of doing the same thing, getting into positions on the high ground. And a little bit of juggling of items here. The bottle dropped as an ultimate orb goes in the inventory of Morphling, gives him just that much more survivability, that much more damage, depending on which way he wants to morph it. Both teams continuing to play very, very cautiously. Sylar still has up the ulti, if and when he wants to spend it. Zenith falling back. This is kind of what you expect out of military units. You fall back in waves. That's kind of how it's been. 2 stay forward, 3 fall back. 3 stay forward, 2 fall back. All the way back to their tier 2. Expecting some kind of counter push to come out of LGD, and suspecting rightly. As they now smoke up, they're going to try and pick and push to try and put an end to the momentum Zenith has built to this point. Roche is going to be up in just a moment or two. So if they're, they may... It's up to them, really. I mean, as you point out, Dire has the advantage in terms of the Roche pit. And Zenith is way far back, knowing, hey, wait a minute, everybody on the map is missing right now, and there's a Roche fight that's going to be coming up in just a few moments. Let's just fall back to tier 3 and make them commit one way or the other.
This is one of the most tense moments, man. I don't think I've ever seen a smoke that was that tense, because if Zenith got caught there, that would have been a disaster. Just 100%. Because you're getting caught by a Naga Siren. That means that there's no way that anyone can save you, depending on who got picked off. It could have been a free Roche, like you said. It's going to be up within probably another minute or so. And in all honesty, fighting at the Roche pit is something that LGD is probably going to want just as much as Zenith. Because even though you have the Darkseer and the Disruptor combination with the Earthshaker to worry about, Naga can pretty much halt all aggression in that enclosed area. Like, the entirety of the bottom river is about 1200 range, from basically the river where you go up towards middle lane if you're Dire, down to basically the warding spot. I mean, you can sleep everything.
Oh, yeah.
So, with that being said, the initiation is going to be really, really tough for Zenith especially. They need to try to catch out the Naga Siren, make sure that she can't get her ultimate off, and try to just win the team fight from there. And they have the potential to do that. I mean, they have the Disruptor. That's 4 or 5 seconds of not being able to cast anything on top of the Hex from the Invoker and Chain Stun. So if they execute properly and have a decent initiation, I think they can do pretty well.
Morphling beginning to get pretty damn scary. We're at 40 minutes. He's got 224 last hits, not quite on the same level as Naga Siren's 300. She's got her heart and her diffusal blade, not much else, but 4,600 gold in the bank, just saving for buybacks in case it's needed. Very wise play, I think, there out of Sylar. And Zenith is going to go ahead and move into the Roche pit. And right now, LGD's pretty spread out. I mean, they can, obviously they've got TPs. Not everyone has them, though. Yeah, I don't know that they're going to be able to challenge here. Now, this is a free Roche for Zenith.
Again, I mean, this is the power of having all the towers dead on the other team. As there's going to be an AAL tier, it's going to actually almost steal a Roche, which would have been funny to say the least, because they would have got the gold for it. But it's another Aegis for Morphling, which means that the next team fight that they want to try to push, which I feel like they're going to want to try to do sometime soon. I mean, Zenith does have an okay late-game team, and a lot of it's down to execution at this point, but I mean, Darkseer has his Scepter up, he has his Ghost Scepter as well on top of that. So he has all his core items, he doesn't really need anything else. Having a Hex would be nice, having a Shivas would be nice, but those are kind of luxury items for him at this point.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is the point where Zenith is kind of in their stride. They have the Scotty up on the Morphling and 3,000 gold. He's still farming away. He might go something like a Butterfly, just because, so he can survive the CK and the Naga easier, which I actually think he will do. But
I think I'd rather see a Manta
push
here. Both for the survivability and just for the pure damage output. It's a tough call, man. Again, this is probably the most tense game of Dota I've ever casted.
Yeah, I have to agree. I mean, it's so tough, especially because you know either team at this point, they both know exactly what's on the line. And for LGD especially, it has to be like twice as stressful because you're already down 1 game. You don't want to be down 2 games in a best of 5.
No.
Because it means you have to win 3 in a row. I mean, LGD won 2 in a row, but you're asking them to come back in 2 different instances of a best of 3 and then a best of 5 against 2 of the best teams in the world. And no matter what team you are, that's a tall order. And I don't know if any team would have that in them. So hopefully they can try to make something happen here. Keep it close, you know. That's the one thing they're really looking to do here. Is there's like a huge smoke up here bottom lane by Zenith.
Yep. Zenith, oh, there we go. They're going to find Zhao 8. Here comes the rock. There's the fissure just to secure it. The loss of Lina. Going to be a big problem. Let's see what Zenith can do with it. She's down for 45 seconds. Nowhere near enough gold to buy back. 5 on 4. HY going to be looking to take the lead here. Ethereal Blade plus Scotty going to equal a very dead Ancient Apparition. Oh, well, he actually survived it, but yeah, that was very close to a very dead Ancient Apparition. A little bit of spam, trying to buy some time. There's the Ensnare on HY, 4-second Chaos Bolt. He's taking a lot of damage coming out of these Naga Siren illusions. But, is it going to be enough? He's got the Aegis still yet. Here comes the AA ulti as well. Ice. Moved in, now back out. HY, morphing the stream, trying to buy himself some time. Down goes the Darkseer wall. Big Echo Slam as well. Sylar's in trouble. Sylar didn't get off the ulti. Held on to it for too long. Buybacks all around. DD making a run, not going to get back home to safety. There's the Laguna Blade spent by Zhao 8. The Aegis is about to come back up, though. And HY, chain stunned to death, morphing the strength, morphing as quickly as he can. Going to focus down. Another good vacuum. Down goes Lina. DDC with the BKB popped. Just can't hang in. Another death. That's 4 down. DDC hexed in his own well. And there's the GGs. LGD holding on as hard as they could. Just not enough to overcome all of the momentum and all of the lead that Zenith had built to that point. 26-10 when the GGs were called. 42 minutes to put it in the books. LGD's got a long road ahead of them if they want to walk out champs, my friend. They trail 0-2 in a best-of-5 against Zenith, a team that pretty much anyone who knows Dota is favoring to go deep at the international number 2. But if any team can do it, it's the Chinese powerhouse LGD.
They got a long day ahead of them if they want to take 3 games in a row off Zenith, especially considering, man, they've just looked so good. Like, their drafts have been good, their laning has been great, they've executed all their strategies properly. You know how impressive it is that you killed the Naga Siren twice in a row without her even being able to cast her ultimate?
Yeah.
You stun-locked her so well that a hero with a heart, and I just don't even know what to say. She had a heart and she couldn't ultimate. Like, she bought back after she died the first time where she couldn't ult, and then she died again before she could ult. So, yeah, team coordination is a very, very powerful tool to have, and Zenith rather showed it in this game. I'm kind of speechless. I think you can probably tell by now. That was just an insanely well-executed team fight.
Very well played on both sides. I think you said it all for us, Draskell. Long road for LGD, but you know what? This is their chance to shine, their chance to say, you know what, Zenith's a favorite going into the International too, but damn it, so are we. In fact, we should be #1. They got to win 3 in a row. Only one more for Zenith the Walkout Champions. We'll find out which team's up to the task coming up next. I'm AC, that's Draskell. This is Monthly Madness Asia, the Grand Finals.
Break myself back from the